Hello, everybody. It's Gary Stuckey here with Real Music. Hope you're doing okay wherever you are today. Got an awesome guest here today. Legend Carmine Appice is here. Talked to him a few years ago, and he's still on fire playing those drums like nobody's business. Of course, you know him from Cactus, because he's got a brand new album with Cactus, and Vanilla Fudge. Played with Rod Stewart, Ozzy Osbourne, King Cobra, just to name a few. Brand new album by Cactus, though. It's called Temple of Blues, Influences and Friends, and he's got a lot of cool friends on there like Joe Bonamassa, Ted Nugent, Billy Sheehan, Dee Snider, people like that. Really good songs. Number 3 on the blues album charts. I mean, come on. Can you do better than that? I guess so. Go to number 1. Let's see what happens. But yeah, one of the top albums of the year, in my opinion. But a really good time chatting with him. A lot of cool stories. A very talented guy. You don't want to miss this conversation. But here we go. Here he is. Here's Carmine Appice. So let's talk about your brand new album with Cactus.
Yeah.
Called Temple of Blues, Influences and Friends.
Yeah.
You've got a lot of friends helping you.
I got a lot of friends. and it wasn't my idea to do this. It was Brian Pereira that owns Cleopatra Records. He came up to me and said, you think you can do an album that has people who are influenced by Cactus on it?
Right.
And I said, yeah, I can do that, because years ago I did this Guitar Zeus record, and I did that, and it was like, took a while. I did volume 1, volume 2. I did Guitar Zeus Korea, Guitar Zeus Japan. So, I knew I could do it. And I know there was a lot of people that I know that were Cactus fans. And there was some people that I know that were just friends of mine,
Right.
But some of those friends ended up being fans, which I didn't know. Like Steve Stevens, when I called him, I told he was a friend. He goes, "Oh man, I'm from Brooklyn. I used to love Cactus." I said, "Okay, that's interesting," So a few of those hit me like that, but it took a year to do, and I did it a unique way. I started just with the drums. I didn't start with a click and a guitar and a vocal. I started with the drums because I'm the one that knew how those songs went.
Right.
All the old songs. So until I figured out a good, this seat's uncomfortable, I gotta say. Hold on a minute.
Sure.
I move this a little bit. Hold on. She's like little. That's better. Okay, that's much better. So until I figured out how to do this, I said, let me start with the drums. I put a click on. I started listening to the songs in my head, and played it. First one was Parchment Farm. But the problem was, in my studio, I could overdub my drums again. So the drums never move. They're always there, same air conditioning, same humidity, same mic, same head, same everything. So if something that I don't like, I can punch it in,
Right.
So I was going, okay, this is cool. But when I finish it, I go, all right, where's the verse? There's no vocal, there's nothing on it. Where's the verse? Where's the chorus? Okay, let me try another one. So I tried one way or another, and I had the same problem. So I would have to go through the song and get the times. All right, here's the verse. I'd sing it to myself. Here's the verse. Here's the pre-chord. Here's the chord. Here's the solo.
Right.
So I said, there's got to be an easier way. So then I said, I'm going to put the click down, and I'm going to actually sing the songs on the machine, record it.
Right.
So like Evil, I go bomb, bomb, 2, 3, 4, down, lay down, 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 drum fill, chicka, 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 diddle, diddle. And I go do this whole thing like that, and that seemed to work. I went through the whole song, and I knew where it was. If I wanted to fix something, I knew where it was. So then the next thing was to give these songs as I did them to my singer guitar player harmonica player, he would put a guitar, a vocal, work guitar, and then and a harmonica. And then I give it to the bass player, Jim Computer. He played bass. Now I had a demo. Okay, so then I said, okay, now I can call my friends. You
Right.
know, Nugent. You know, what do you want to play? One way or another. Okay, let me put Doug Pinnick on it. He'll do bass and vocal. Okay, I did that. Send it to Nugent. Parchment Farm. I had Billy Sheehan because Billy said anything you want to do to celebrate Tim Bogert or Cactus or Vanilla Fudge, I'm there. I said, okay, great. So we did Parchment Farm. I had the track already. I noticed what I wanted to fix. The guitar player did the guitar and the vocal and harmonica. So all we needed was the bass. So we did send it to Billy. He put the bass on it, and Jim McCarty wanted to play on it. And then when I did Joe Bonamassa's podcast, he said, Parchment Farm blew my brains out. I said, good, I'm doing this, blah, blah, blah. So he said, yeah, he would do it. So we got him on it just to do the solos. So now we got a wild combination on there. My singer and harmonica player, Billy Sheehan on bass, me on drums, McCarty on guitar and the verses, and Joe Bonamassa in the solos, you know. But
Right.
it's freaking amazing. It took a year.
It sounds really good. I've been listening to it, man. It's number 3 on the Billboard Blues album charts. I mean,
Unbelievable.
it's it's got a lot of fire. I mean, it's really good, man. Just
Fire and Fury.
whoa. Uh,
How's
my
that?
favorites. I was taking note of my favorites to my Ted Nugent with the One Way or Another
Hmm.
uh, with Doug Pinnick. Man, that's good.
Great, great voice.
Uh, it's like I mean, does this take you back to the old days when you think of you're recording this, older music? Does it take you back to your younger years? I mean, you still play like you're 30. I know.
Well, not quite, but
I'm just saying,
I did play well on this. Because I was able to fix stuff, but
yeah,
I knew these songs. I play them. I've been playing with Cactus since 2005, again with different incarnations. But the thing that makes this great is the songs are full of energy.
yeah,
These songs have always had energy, no matter who played them. I just finished doing 5 shows with a whole new Cactus, except for the bass player. You know, and no matter who plays them and sings them, they have fire and fury in them. But good
really, really.
melodies, good lyrics, and great melodies. I mean, I said that already. I feel
It's
like Biden. Hold on, I didn't mean that.
all right. Yeah,
Good. It's just those kind of songs that no matter who plays them,
yeah,
they sound good if they're played right. And I made sure that every song was played the way they need to be played. But interesting enough, Van Halen was a big fans. They were big fans of Cactus, and Hot for Teacher, the mentor or the model for Hot for Teacher was Parchment Farm. And there was another song that Billy Cobham did 2 years later, but Parchment Farm was the first fast double bass drum solo like that, and with guitars, and also the song called Swim had an intro that had a big chord and a lot of guitar, and then it went bam, 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 big chord.
right.
I didn't know it at the time. In the 70s when it came out, I was with Rod Stewart, and I didn't really, he didn't have Walkmans or cassette players, so he didn't really listen to much music on the
Right.
road. But the first album came out of Van Halen, Eruption, was the same thing as the beginning of Let Me Swim. When I found that out later in life, I talked to Eddie. I go, wow. He said, yeah, we love Cactus. When I did Vanilla Fudge together, he goes, fuck that, put Cactus back together,
Right.
So, so on this one, I said, I'm going to make the Swim intro longer so you can actually see the comparison of the original Let Me Swim to Eruption. We didn't make it as long, but we made it longer than the first intro. So we did it, and I said, I need a great guitar player and bass player to play these. So I got Malcolm Mendoza to play bass, which I didn't know was a Cactus fan and a Tim Bogert fan. I didn't know that.
Wow.
I thought he was a friend. Doug Aldridge But I don't know. I'm sure not sure if he was a Cactus fan because he's much younger, you know. But I said I need a guy that can play this intro, like really kill it.
Right.
So I asked Doug. He heard it. And he listened to a the original, listened to Eruption. He said, "Yeah, I can kill this." I said, "Okay, do it." And guess what? He killed it. You know, he killed it. He had the harmonics going, all this fast
So
stuff, melodic stuff, and all the stuff that he got from probably Eddie.
yeah,
And then we went into the song, and it was killer. The solo was killer. The rhythm
so
guitar playing was great.
so good. Um, and I was noticing D. Snyder. D. Snyder sounded really bluesy. He's
Uh,
got some soul on that song, man.
yeah, he
He
does. I
brought it
mean,
out of him.
this is a funny story too, because Dee's from Long Island. Cactus was big in Long Island. I taught this guy Joe Franco, who played with Dee in a group called Widowmaker, and they used to come into the studio and just jam on Evil, right? So then they just said, "Let's record it." So they recorded it, and I heard it. And I used to tell Joe that it's cool, except you're playing the wrong drum part, But he said, "Well, we just used to jam on it." But I heard Dee singing it. I said, "Wow, he sounds pretty good." So when we did this, I called up Joe. I said, "We're recording this." I told him what we're doing. Do you think Dee was singing on it? He goes, "Oh man, he loves Cactus." So I called him and I told him, Doug Pinnick is going to play bass. McCarty's going to play guitar. I'd like you to sing. He said, not even a hesitation. I'm in. Okay. So then I told McCarty that Dee Snider's going to play. He goes, "The guy from Twisted Sister?" He said, "Yeah." He goes, "Oh man, come on, Twisted Sister." I go, "Dude, he could sing this. I promise you, he could sing this." So after we did it, we recorded, had a mix. I sent it to McCarty. He goes, "Who's singing?" I said, "The guy from Twisted Sister." He goes, "Oh my God, he sounds like Rusty Day, our original singer."
Right.
I said, "Yeah, he does." Because he loved Rusty. He loved Cactus. So he said, "Wow." It blew him away. Just like I told him we're going to market this album as a blues album. He said, "This ain't a blues album. This is not a blues album." He's thinking of like Howlin' Wolf and all that stuff. I said, "This is a blues album for today." Today, the blues charts in Billboard has Foghat, Robin Trower. It's just
Right.
like the album charts has Taylor Swift. The
Right.
charts have changed.
Right.
The Cactus was always a blues rock band. Rock blues, any way you want to put it. All the changes are 1-4-5 changes in our songs. Out of the 12, 13 songs, I would say there's 14 songs. Out of the 14 songs, I'd say 10 or 11 of them or more are blues changes. So I
Right.
said, "We're going to market it as the blues." He said, "I don't believe it. That's not the blues." Okay. So I talked to the owner of the company who told it was his idea to do this. I said, "Look, Robin Trower, Foghat, these guys are all getting #1 blues charts in Billboard. Let's market this as blues." So it was going to be called Cactus Influences and Friends. So he said, "Why don't we call it Temple of Blues?" I said, "Yeah, let's do that." We already had that picture. It looks like Sergeant Pepper. That was our
Yeah.
idea. That, you know, and I said, well, let's just put them in a temple and make all the artwork temple wise. So, Temple of Blues. He said, "Great idea." So, we worked it. We got, our PR guys to work. I did a million of these interviews and, you know,
Right.
and then it was always watching Amazon, the pre-orders, number 10, number 5, number 3 in blues, 20 on regular albums and all this stuff. And then we get a call. It broke in the charts on Billboard, number 3. I said,
Wow.
"Wow, I haven't been on the Billboard charts since 1989." And here my old group Cactus is number 3 in the Billboard charts on the blues. I said, "Wow." So of course I called McCarty up. I said, "Guess what?" He goes, "We're number 3 in the blues charts." He goes, "Get out of here."
So
So
good.
it all worked. It was all, it's not it was a plan, like in action, It was like a plan that we didn't know until we started doing it.
Right.
We started doing the record. We got all these people on it. It was influences of friends. And then let's call it Temple of Blues. And we got that artwork. The artwork came out great. Influences and friends are all on the cover. And then the Temple of Blues, all on there. Let's market it as the blues album. Let's
Right.
do some videos. Evil's the first one. It's a blues.
Right.
Came off
It
a Howlin' Wolf album. You know,
really good.
I brought it to the band back in the day. And Jeff Beck gave me the album. It's just like a long period. Jimmy Page gave Jeff Beck the album. He gave me the album. And I gave it to Cactus, and we did that. If we do a next album, Cactus blues record, or call it something, I already got playing Little Red Rooster from that album is a killer song to do, you know.
Cool. Cool.
But now that we made the charts and blues, we can do another blues album.
That's right. You can get up there in the charts again. That's good. That's really good.
Awesome.
Awesome stuff. Uh, and I know, I've been thinking about your playing, and is it harder for you, like on a blues album, or are these songs that you've done before, and you're adding all your little tricks and licks and nice cymbal work I've been paying attention to, really good
All right.
stuff. And
Thank you.
is is that harder for you if the song is more simple, if it's more of a straight blues, is it harder to play than say a
Well,
rockin'?
it's harder. Less is always more,
Yeah.
you know. But on this album, it was really hard because I was playing a blues, a 6/8 slow blues by myself. You know?
It's great.
And I had to
It's crazy.
visualize where the guitar was going to build up and where the dynamics were going to start and end, and it came out amazing. Because when I gave
Wow.
it to the bass player, Jorgen Carlson, who played with Government Mule and Warren Haynes forever, I said, look, Warren Haynes has to play the blues. He's like Mr. Blues. So when I played it, I was visualizing where the guitar solo was going to come up and then come down dynamics and beginning dynamic, and a roll to bring it in like we did on the original record. I kind of followed the dynamics of the original song because I had played that song before.
Right.
And then when I gave it to Jorgen, he played it, with the same dynamics I had going, and he knew how Warren was going to play it. So he followed in his own mind how we thought Warren was going to play. And so then Warren, hearing that, played it the way we were both hearing it, which was unbelievable. And he did the guitar and the vocal at the same time. That's why all that interplay with the guitar and the vocal is so good.
That's really good.
Amazing. Amazing.
It really is. And I mean, and finding out how you recorded it. I mean, the album itself is phenomenal. Then you find out that you recorded it like that, and it blows my mind. So that makes it even
Everybody
better.
was in a different place. Everybody.
It's everybody.
Everybody.
Nobody would.
There was nobody in the same place at all, ever.
And
But,
see, a lot of times,
I know how to, excuse me, I know how to play to a click where it doesn't
yeah,
sound like this, right on the click.
yes,
I know how to
yeah,
play behind it and move up a little, come back and forth, because I've been doing it since 1982,
you do
And
it.
I don't,
There,
as a matter of fact, that hurt me one time when I was asked to do this German band. Oh, I forgot what they were called, but they were one of these bands that you put a click on, it'd be exactly with the click. And I
right.
spent 3 days trying to do that, and I couldn't do it. And finally,
Wow.
it paid me something, and I went home because I couldn't play to a click because I play to a click to real feel,
Yeah.
not
There's a difference.
mechanical feel.
There's a difference. You can tell a difference in a robotic sound and a
Yes,
feel.
yes.
Yeah, definitely. Um,
Like if you
and
listen to Rod Stewart, Young Turks, I
yeah,
co-wrote, but we put a drum machine on it because that's how we wrote it. Okay, so I can't play like a drum machine, so I just played the hi-hat and cymbals, and we left the drum machine. That was the first song I think that was recorded with a real drum machine. That was the main drums on the track. That was back in
right,
1981.
right. So
So
cool.
I couldn't play like that,
Right,
The song I co-wrote, I couldn't play like that.
right.
But
Wow,
this is my forte.
that's right. And I'm glad you play like you do. So talk. You say you wrote that song, and so what part did you write it in that song
And
exactly?
Young
Yes,
Turks,
yes.
everything, lead vocal, And the everything else we wrote. Me and my partner, Dwayne Hitchens. He had a studio.
Wow.
We went in there and he keyboards and we screwed around and came up with these different parts and then gave it to Rod. And he loved it and he
Wow.
put the melody on it. And then he asked the keyboard player, he wrote that song, and he gave him like 25% of the song for that little lick. I said, dude, all right, give him 10%, but not 25%. But a long time ago, and that song did well, and I have a Rod show now called the Tonight's the Night with this guy Rob Cardle, me, and the sax player to play with Rod. This chick Katra played with Rod 14 years, and we do these really realistic Rod shows.
Cool.
If you go to CarmineAppice.com, you see all these shows. Where are you located?
I'm in Alabama. Yeah,
Alabama.
South Alabama.
Yeah, so I don't know if we're playing anywhere near you, but this show is the best thing, your closest thing to Rod Stewart you're ever going to hear.
So cool.
And now Rod doesn't do this kind of show because it's really a high energy show.
Yeah.
It comes in two parts. First part I called a wimpy part. It was like Forever Young, and some guys have all the luck. And if I told you tonight, I love you, that stuff. And this guy Rob is amazing. He sings all that stuff great. And then we take an intermission, and I come on, and we introduce me, and I tell between me and Catch, we have 21 years of Rod Stewart on this stage tonight.
Cool.
And then,
so cool.
And then we go, you ready to rock? Yeah. And then we go back. We start with Hot Legs. Then we do Young Turks, and we do Passion. Then we do People Get Ready. And we do You Keep Me Hanging On that I did with Rod. And then we do Maggie May. We do, of course, Do You Think I'm Sexy, which I co-wrote.
Yeah.
Just like 8 songs that are just powerhouse songs. Now, the other songs are big sellers and good, but these are powerhouse. And you could tell everybody knows they sing it. Do You Think I'm Sexy was the biggest Rod song he ever had in his whole career.
And
so
you co-wrote
millions and millions. So
awesome.
I have fun doing that because I never get to play those songs anymore. So I get to play this year. I played Vanilla Fudge, Cactus, and Rod Stewart songs, which is awesome.
You can't beat that. You can't beat that.
I'm having fun, and it's not about the money anymore. It's about just playing, having a good time, and being able to play. And as I get older, things happen. You don't play as good. I mean, you watch me on the Ed Sullivan Show at Vanilla Fudge. My arms are up here, and I'm just attacking the drums. Then I learned to do like a karate thing where I didn't have to be up here to get the same sound. And PAs are better now, and I used to do that because there were no PAs back then. I got bigger drums because there were no PAs, bigger drums, louder drums. You had to hit them harder, so it's more up in the air, twirling, and all that. I do all that stuff now, but not not attacking the drums.
Attack them, yeah.
Now I play the drums more, and I learned to play melodically because I sing. And, I just love. I live in Florida. I mean, you can look out here. You see. Can you see that? There's a lake out there. And grass, and I don't know if you can see it, but anyway, people go, "You live in Florida? You play golf?" I said, "No, I play drums."
Just a lot harder to play drum.
Yeah, it's a little harder. And I feel the muscle aches in my body.
Sure.
My father told me, he said when he was 77, he said, my brain feels the same. I feel like I'm 17, but my body don't.
Right.
I get it now.
I'm slowly starting to get it.
Yeah, I mean, when I play drums that hard, the next day I feel it.
Oh yeah. You've influenced a lot of guys. I know, like Bonham and Neil Peart and a lot of people, but those guys, people know they've admitted to it in the past, like, hey, Carmine is my favorite, and they probably admitted that they copied your style. Are there some people that you've noticed?
Well, it's not they copied the style. Everybody, a famous drummer who was one of my mentors, Joe Morello, played with the Dave Brubeck Quartet. They had Take 5, and he was the first one to do a solo in 5/4 timing,
Wow.
and that became a thing. Like all these bands, Mahavishnu, Dream Theater, and all that, That's what it
Right.
developed into. And he used to say to me, he goes, look, nobody has it all. We all take from each other. It's not
That's right.
steal. We all take from each other. So what Bonham took from me, he passed it on. He passed it on to Tommy Lee, you know.
Yeah.
And so I influenced Tommy Lee, but so did Bonzo. Neil Peart took something I did and passed it on to all these others. So we all pass it on. My main guys were Gene Krupa, Buddy Rich, Max Roach, and Joe Morello. I'm a
Good.
combination of those guys, but I added the power, for rock power to it. Because when
Right.
I was playing, you looked at all the drummers in that era. You get Mitch Mitchell, he was a light jazz drummer. Keith Moon played crazy, but he was light. Ginger Baker was light, and then me. I was
Right.
like killing, attacking drums, big drums,
Right.
attacking them, and I sang. Those other guys sang.
Right.
If you look at a video of me playing with Beck Bogan, the piece in concert, what's it called, Morning Dew. I am a vicious animal on the drums and singing at the
That's
same
crazy.
time.
I love it.
I mean, there's
Love
a
it.
lot of great drummers like Phil Collins played great, sang, but he didn't viciously attack drums and sang, you know. And
Right.
we did a gig in Madison Square Garden with Vanilla Fudge, and Phil Collins was in the back. He said, "You don't know how much you guys influenced me." And I went, "Wow." That's when he was really huge,
Right.
but we knew him, but that hit my heart like, wow, cool.
That's so
Phil
good.
Collins, it's fantastic. But but then I realized back when I look at that video, there's a lot of drummers starting to play harder, but playing and singing like that, improvising, playing. We're in 6/8, we're in 3/4, then we're in 4/4, we're in different timings and singing and playing. I said, wow, I was a bit of an animal back then. I mean, I can kind of do it today, but my voice, you can hear it. It's gone. As you get older, your voice gets weird. Now I look like a mafia guy and I sound like one.
You're right. I'll make you an offer. Now,
I
you're
get
talking
you an
about
offer you can't refuse.
can't refuse. That's right. Dean Castronovo is a guy I know that
Great.
is the only one. I was going to say I know he cites you as an influence, but yeah, doing the heavy drums and singing
Yeah.
not easy.
Yeah.
Y'all two might be the only
All
ones.
somewhere along the line, it came from what I did. And then he listened to somebody that, I'm sure if you ask him, I'm sure, he puts me as one of his influences because
Sure, I know he
just the way
does.
he plays, just the way he plays. But I love him. I love the way he plays and I love his voice.
He's great, ain't he?
He's a great voice. I mean, I'm sorry he went to jail for some stupid thing,
Yeah,
but
it's
he
all
came
good now.
back. He came back,
Hmm.
and Neil gave him another chance and journey, and God bless him.
He's doing great now.
And he's
Um,
Italian. Come on, he's Italian.
that's the main thing.
There's a lot of great Italian drummers.
Right. It kind of
Dino
goes.
Danelli, him, Terry Bozzio,
Yeah.
Dean Casanosa, myself, my brother. There's more. I can't
There's a
think.
bunch of them.
But there are
Definitely
a
a bunch
lot
of
of Italians
a lot.
versus like Irish drummers.
That's right. That's right. Just a
I'm sure
couple of
there
those.
are a few, but there's a lot of good,
Yeah,
really great, funky, soulful Italian drummers.
sure, sure. Well, Dean played for Ozzy, and I was
Yeah,
thinking about this. I know that you did, and I saw another interview about how you got kind of booted from playing with Ozzy.
yeah.
Is
I
that
did.
that probably came as a shock? But I guess you probably do you look at things like things happen for a reason, and it caused you to do something else.
It Well, it did and it didn't. I mean, if they called me to join Ozzy. I didn't call them. So I joined them, and from the very beginning, my manager, my own manager, had my own solo albums out. I had, as a spokesperson for Mattel Sonic Drums, which was, a very visible thing. I was hanging out with Buddy Rich. There was videos on what is it? Derringer and Appice, me and Rick Derringer had
Right.
videos on MTV that did well. So I wasn't, I wasn't like a sideman, kind of sideman, you know,
Right.
because I started with Vanilla Fudge, I influenced all these guys. I had my own name. I was the first one to do a clinic. I wrote drum books. I did clinics, I did everything. And she knew this because my manager told her in my contract that I do clinics and, and particularly the American tour. I really did master classes in every market, and I gave money to UNICEF from that, right?
Cool.
And from that, I was getting a lot of PR. And they signed the contract that I could have my own merchandise. So I had a Carmine t-shirt, right? So after like a week or so, 2 weeks maybe, they saw me in the newspapers in the city we're going in, and they're seeing talking about my master classes, and I would make all this extra money. And then I didn't want to carry the cash around. So I asked the guy who's the tour accountant, he had a safe on the bus, if I could put the money in the safe. I guess that's what turned her on to the whole thing, but she wasn't getting a percentage of that, which I gladly would have given her if she asked. But maybe that's the reason why, I don't know. But the other reason why was I was getting a lot of press. She was trying to push Jakey Lee, because he was the one on the tour who was the least known at the time. And they were pushing that. And I was getting a lot of press. She didn't like it. I mean, I would meet, there was one particular time I got a full page article in like a Cleveland big newspaper. Those were like the New York Times big paper.
Oh, yeah.
And it was, Carmine, blah, 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 whatever it was. And talked about me doing the master classes and helping the kids, talked about me giving money to UNICEF. And then it talked about the show. And
Right.
they said, what's the biggest effect in the show? And I said, I guess it must be the drum solo, because I'm up on a 15-foot riser it's like a stairway. It's a haunted house. There's a big stairway going up to my drum riser. That's the drum set on the top. And then when the solo happened, the stairways opened up. And on the track, the drums came all the way down to the front of the stage. And then when I was done, the pyro goes off on the back. I said, this is definitely the biggest thing in the show, but I didn't design it. It wasn't my idea. It could have been Joe Schmo on the drums, but it was me on the drums. So, okay, so I said that in the article. So I go from the masterclass to come back to and this is all in my book. This is the opening story of my book, Stick It, My Life of Sex, Drums, and Rock and Roll. That's going to be for sale at like any concerts I do. And so I walk into the backstage, and this article is copies all over the place. They were just busting my balls, like have fun on the road. Somebody put it up, hey, ha ha, there's my article. But then I had my own roadie, because they said, you want to have your own roadie, or we got guys? So I'll take my own guy. So he knew how to set up my drums. He knew me well and all that. So he took care of me. So he would like get my shirts ready to give to the merch guys, So he comes up and he goes, hey, CA, I go, look at this. He holds up his shirt. My head's cut off the shirt. I said, what the fuck is that? He goes, I don't know. I said, all right, so what? He goes, but all the shirts are like that.
Wow.
I said, all the shirts are like that? I said, fuck. So now I'm thinking of the articles and now my shirts are heads are cut off it. Somebody's really trying to get to me. So then I asked the tour manager, who did this? He goes, talk to Sharon, he says. Talk to Sharon. And we're about to close to going on. I said, I'm not going to talk to Sharon now. I'm going to go up and do the show. So I go up and do the show. So when we're doing the show, because when the riser moves, it goes like this. So if I'm on my bass drums, it would, if I'm pushing down, the momentum will push it back. So it screw up my rhythm. So whenever the riser is ready to go, my rotor is right behind me. I hear like a perch he sat on, 15 feet in the air. So he hit me on the butt. I take my hands off, my feet off, and I play on the snare drum until it started moving. Nothing happened. I'm playing on my hand. I'm going, what's going on? He goes, I don't know. He checks and he goes, hit me again on the butt. Nothing. So I said, oh, fuck this. It ain't going. Right? The stairs didn't even open.
Wow.
So I think they didn't know. Maybe it did open. I can't remember. But anyway, I'm staying up on the riser and I'm doing the solo. And I used to have glowing drumsticks. It was my idea. I had them up there and they were glowing. I was doing the whole show. I get the people chanting with me. At the end of the solo, big standing ovations, cheers. Pyro goes off. I'm not supposed to be there. I feel the hair on my head sizzling, right? So
Jeez.
luckily it didn't burn my skin, but I could smell the hair, you know. We finished the show, so I get in the bus. Ozzy had his own bus with Sharon. They leave before anybody. I get in the bus with Bob Daisley and everybody. I said, he knew her really well. He knew them well. Bob, do you think because of that article, Sharon would screw up the show to try and make me look stupid? Because I said about that article that the drum things come up and the drums go down. And he said, no problem, definitely. She would definitely do that. And I was like,
Wow.
holy shit. I thought this woman is sick, because this is her show. This is their idea. And
Right.
they're trying to make me look stupid. I got the same reaction. I don't care where I am. I know how to work an audience.
Right.
A lot of drummers don't. I know how to do it because I fronted bands. I fronted BBA. I was the front guy from the drums. I've had
Right.
I know how to do that.
Right.
So then that kept going on, and she'd come up to me and go, "Looks like you're tired doing those master classes." I say, "Hey, Sharon," I walk into the place. There's 2 drum sets. I sit down on one. I teach for an hour. I go, "Try and do this." And I bring people up. They play and everything. If anything, I get fired up. I don't get tired.
Right.
And there'll be times I see Ozzy like in doing a PR thing in the same place I was doing that. But when we hit the stage, Motley Crue was open and they were kicking ass. I'd say to Raj, "Man, you ready to rock?" And he goes, "Oh, I'm bloody knackered, man." She had me working pretzel. I said, "Come on, man, we got to kick ass." I'm trying to fire him up.
Right.
I wasn't, losing energy. If anybody, Ozzy was. Jake was full of energy. Bob
Yeah.
Daisley was always great, So that kept happening, stuff like that. So I said, something's not good here. Then 2 weeks later, we were playing Texas Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. And Friday we had off, and I know that Tommy Aldridge was there. Tommy lives in Dallas, of course. He used to play with Ozzy. And he'd come. Now I was hired to fix the album, Bark at the Moon, because they don't like the drum sound. So I was
Wow.
associate producer on that album. I was doing vocals with Ozzy. It wasn't for me. I'm not just like the sideman drummer,
Right.
And I had a, if you got one of the albums that said associate producer by me, that was the first 500,000 album, So I thought Tommy was just hanging out. We went out to dinner, and he was there. The next gig, he was there that night. And the next gig in Houston, he was there too. And we had a great gig in Houston. And then the tour manager said, "Hey, Sharon wants you to talk to you." I said, "I go over." And she said, "Hi, Sharon, what's up?" She goes, real snotty, like that kind of face. "I think you know." I said, "What?" She goes, "You saw Tommy Aldridge hanging around." I said, "Yeah, he's starting the tour on Monday." I said, "What are you talking about?" He says, "Yeah," he says, "he's going to start the tour and he's going to replace you." I
Wow.
already asked Andre, my road, if he wants to stay on. He said, "No way. If I'm not there, he's not there." I said, "Sharon, I got a contract with you." She goes, "I guess I'll see you in court." She goes, "Your name is too big. You need to start your own band."
Oh, wow.
So I did. I
Wow.
started King Cobra.
Wow.
King Cobra did okay, but it never made it big, you know?
Sure.
So it was
Sure.
kind of, I wanted to stay with Ozzy. I wanted to get him a killer drum sound like I did on Cactus. I wanted to help produce the album, help write the songs. I wrote so many songs in my life, 2 big ones with Rod, songs with Cactus, songs with BBA, songs with King Cole, songs with everybody I played with. And before that, I played with Nugent. I didn't write songs with him, but you know, that's what I wanted to do. I wanted to use my talents to further this band with Bob
Right.
Daisley, Jakey Lee. She ruined it. You know,
Wow. So, so have you talked to her since? Has she ever
nope,
apologized
nope,
or nothing like
nope.
that?
I did talk to Ozzy a couple of times, And it says in my book too, when I got the King Cobra deal, I got a lot of money for the deal. I bought a truck, I bought a motorhome instead of renting buses, and I was painting the motorhome in this place, Mate's rehearsal place. Funny enough, Ozzy was there auditioning drummers again, right? So he came up to me and said, "Hey, Carm, how you doing? I see you got a new band." I said, "Yeah, everything's good." He says, I hope we can be friends. I know you and my missus are having problems, but we can be friends." I said, "Yeah, Oz, I know it ain't you." So at the time, I had a little, what do you call it? Like ladders with a piece of board going across it, and I was taping up the windows of the motorhome because we were going to paint it white. So I just said, "What are you doing?" So it was like a little scaffolding. I said, "I'm doing that." He goes, "Well, need any help?" I said, "Sure." So I got Ozzy on the scaffolding. Luckily, he didn't fall. And we were taping up the windows together, you know. He goes, "What are you doing there?" I said, "I'm rehearsing King Cobra." I said, "We're going to do our show. You want to come see it?" He goes, "Yeah." So he came in and watched 4 or 5 songs of my new group, King Cobra. So we were friends. The next time I saw him when somebody was getting inducted into the Rock Hall of Fame, the Rock Walk of Fame, and at the Guitar Center. And I think it was one of his guitar players. And we were talking, and then all of a sudden this guy comes over because Sharon wants you. I think she saw me talking to him, and he ran to Sharon. That was the last time I talked to him.
Wow. Wow. Well, I think she's mellowed out a little bit. I think since then, I would hope. I don't. I wouldn't think she's like that anymore to a degree. Maybe in her
No,
older age.
you're wrong.
Am I wrong?
Yeah, Bob
Wow.
Daisley and Lee Kerslake, right, were in the first 2 albums. It was called Blizzard of Oz. That was the name of the band, not Ozzy. Blizzard of Oz. Okay, it's supposed to be 4-way split. They went to court recently in the last 4 or 5 years, and they got fucked.
Wow.
Phil
The things
Soussan, to play with Ozzy after me, he got screwed. Mostly, from what I hear from everybody that, they were
Wow.
the only one that was I can't think of his name. Black Label Society guitar player.
Yeah. Zach Wild.
Zach Wild is the only one I think that really never had any problems.
Wow.
But I had a lot of musicians have problems with her, and
I
she
guess
made herself a celebrity, which I couldn't believe.
She doesn't
But
seem like
she's
this.
on TV and I'm doing your
Yeah,
podcast.
that's right.
But it's
She,
cool.
things.
Look, I had a blessed career. God blessed me with a great career. All these bands, all through the years, 57 years, I'm still going, still able to play, and I'm healthy enough to play. And I made a lot of friends along the way. I don't think there's anyone that could say I got screwed by Carmine Appice.
No, you've influenced a lot of people that say thank you. I bet you for all
Yeah,
these years,
I did.
every day probably there's somebody
I
that's
mean, on the album, a lot of people that are on it that were able to give comments, gave comments on it. I mean, Ted Nugent's just done some amazing interview on Forbes magazine.com. And he just, I can't even say, if I say it, it'll look like I'm egoing out, so I won't even say it. Put in Ted Nugent Forbes magazine, volume 3, I think it is. He did 4 volumes of it.
well, he knows a good drummer, and and they give him a hard time in the press about his political views, and it's real stupid because
You know
that has
why?
nothing
It
to
is stupid because everything he's saying is true.
right.
Look at the country.
It's crazy how one-sided everything is. It's like the guy can play the guitar like nobody's business. It has nothing to do with politics. Why are
I
suddenly
mean, come on,
you're deaf?
be real. I mean, even if you were even if you were a Democrat, you got all these people coming in. You don't know who they are. Eventually, something big is going to happen. Look what's happening
Yeah.
in the small. People are getting killed one at a time.
Right.
Something's going to happen. You
Right.
hear people on different news stations saying something's going to happen. Vet these people. Look at 2001,
Yeah. I think
9/11.
they have a short memory. They have a short memory about what happened. It's like you
Something's
just
going to
allow them.
happen. I mean, I watched those buildings grow when I was little. Not little. I was young. I was
Mhm.
used to drive and watch Manhattan and see little by little the towers going up. And when they fell down, man, I got freaked out.
Yeah.
My anxiety level was ridiculous, you know. But he lets anybody in.
Yeah.
I mean, what are you doing? So you can get Democrat votes. You let anybody in. So somebody
They
that
don't.
25,000 Chinese guys that are soldier age, you know, all coming in. You got all these people from everywhere coming in. Something's
Right.
going to happen. They've already proved something's going to happen with these murders. You know,
Right. It's
something
scary.
scary,
It's
man.
a scary world we live in. That's why.
I never owned a gun in my life. I got guns now,
Oh yeah. You about have to.
and Ted is proud of me for it.
I know he's excited about playing with you, but
Yeah, I love
that's
Ted.
my favorite song though on that album with
Yeah,
Ted there.
it's
Uh,
a great song.
so good.
I mean, I can't even pick a song. They're all
They're all good. I mean, they're
Harsh Farm kicks butt.
oh man, yeah.
Evil kids butt. I mean,
Wow.
Let Me Swim, Let Me Swim. The song Alaska, so bluesy. I
That's
played
good.
it originally with brushes. I did it again with brushes. It's killer.
It's
Tony
really good.
Franklin on the bass and Johnny A, who's a blues guy who was in the Yardbirds. He played, I know he's blues, so I put him on there, and that's a stone blues. You know,
It's it's really good.
um,
Every one of those songs though, really, like you said, has the fire and it punches you right in the face. I mean, it it it's where music needs to be
yeah.
today. I mean, are there any bands out there that you consider uh
Well, they're not
maybe
new. I saw Papa Roach. I saw Papa Roach last year. I thought they were great. They were playing with Shinedown. I thought they blew Shinedown off. You
oh
know,
yeah,
in my opinion. I mean, that's just my opinion. People may, send in hate mail to that, but they were tremendous, man. They were really, really good. You know, I don't follow a lot of new bands. Most of them have that vocal,
yeah,
and I can't get through the vocal on that.
right,
But some of the drummers today, with the feet on, they're like those feet.
yeah,
There's a guy on the internet. I can't even pronounce his name. It's Siberiano or something. Is He's like the Buddy Rich of this generation. He's
cool.
got amazing feet and hands. He's drinking a cup of coffee while he's playing. It's amazing. He's got millions and millions and millions of views on YouTube. So now there's YouTube stars have developed, not radio anymore.
Right, that's
It's
right.
YouTube
It's
stars, you know.
right.
But in order to, there's a chick named what's her name? Hold on, Royal Lynn. Her name is. She's like a country heavy metal rock artist. Not
That's
heavy
cool.
metal like that. Just heavy guitars like I don't know, like Motley Crue, Doctor Feelgood heavy.
Right, right,
It starts with a drum machine and her singing, and then the band can is really good record. I
right,
like her. I like those two guys, and I like anything that sounds good.
right.
Just new. You notice all these bands that are coming up new, they're all older
Yeah,
because it takes them forever to build up that YouTube base.
that's
They're
right.
not like 19 years old anymore. I was 19 when I made it. You know,
Wow.
back in those days, there were a lot of, Jeff Beck he was 21. earlier than 21. He was 17. Jim McCarty, he was 17. The guys in Grand Funk Railroad, they were young. Led Zeppelin, Robin and Bonzo were like 18, 19 years old. That don't happen no more.
No. And they don't sound as good.
Yeah,
I
and
don't know.
everybody sounds the same. It's all the same.
Yeah.
And back in the day, that's Deep Purple, that's Zeppelin, that's Vanilla Fudge, that's Cactus, that's Led. You can go on and on. That's Yes, that's ELP. They all have different sounds. Today, it's the same. Same with all the pop artists.
That's right.
Just like I said to McCarty, the pop charts have changed to all these pop artists. Those are the album-oriented artists, but now are pop artists.
That's right.
We started album-oriented radio.
Right.
That's what AOR means.
Right.
It was AM radio. We started FM radio. And it's a shame to see where it's gotten to. It's back to where AM radio used to be. And now it's gone to Sirius radio.
Right.
Sirius radio, you get airplay on Sirius radio, it's spread out all over the country.
Right.
So if you get like 100,000 views or listens on it, it could be 1,000 in each city.
That's right.
So you go to a city, you don't draw nothing because you only had 1,000 listeners there.
Right.
It's pretty weird today.
It really is.
It used to be, what do you say for young musicians how to make it? I don't have a clue.
Yeah, that's right. I was
They
going to
have
ask
a better idea than I do.
Yeah, what do you say to them? It's a different world. You can't explain how.
I don't have a clue. I said, how do you find new bands? Me? I used to listen to the radio. You think I got time to sit down in front of YouTube and look for new bands? I don't have time.
Yeah.
I have a life.
That's right.
My life included listening to the radio when I was driving. And they go, here's a new band, blah, blah, blah. Here's a new band called Led Zeppelin,
Right.
But it's weird.
Yeah.
But
I don't.
I made it at a good time. I'm glad I did. And we were rocking.
And I don't think
still rocking.
Yeah, this new album proves it. I don't think there'll ever be another you that does it just like you. I'll go ahead and tell you, there won't be another drummer like you ever.
Oh, thank you. I appreciate that.
And I think
now I'm not rocking, I'm bluesing.
Bluesing is good enough for me. I appreciate you talking to me today. But everybody needs to go check out that new album. Go to your Cactus website, right? And
well, actually, go to the Facebook. We're rebuilding the website right now, but just go to Amazon.com. You can go to my website, CarmineAppice.com. You see all the shows we're doing. Just go tour dates, and you can go to my Carmine Appice Facebooks and all that baloney.
Awesome.
Right?
Yeah, everybody needs to check it out, and I know. Like I said, I enjoyed the music. I love everything you do. Always have. Big Vanilla Fudge fan.
Okay,
Cactus. Thanks for the music. And I'll be seeing you. Maybe we'll see you out there one day. I'll check.
Okay, keep your eye on my website for the dates. All right, see you. Bye-bye.
And there you go, Carmine Appice, one of the greatest drummers of all time. Brand new album with Cactus called Temple of Blues, Influences and Friends. Pick it up today wherever you get great music. And until next time, everybody, always remember to keep the music real.